You are welcome back to my page, Dr. Okoya Ebasi. Today we are going to look at how to stay out of debt. Now, we are in a world today that so many nations, so many state governments, local governments, companies, individuals are so indebted that some of the indebtedness will take many generations to even pay. And this is an issue that is plaguing a lot of developing countries. And that is why I want to really take time to look at how we can stay out of debt. Now, most of the times, nations, companies, local government, states, they borrow based on the fact that they feel that they are poor. So they need to borrow this money to build infrastructures. They need to borrow to do certain things, carry out certain assignments, and then put the nations and the state governments into serious debts that will take many, many years to pay. Some companies are also so indebted. There are some individuals today that they are operating on loans. They borrow from here and there just to make ends meet. Now, this is a serious problem for many nations, developing nations, and many individuals. Now, the truth about it is that it's not only poor nations that borrow. Find out there are some rich nations also borrow. And the borrowing to solve their problems is it's not just a matter of because they are poor or maybe because they cannot do without this borrowing. The real problem is an attitudinal problem. When you have an individual that have an attitudinal problem, will run his finances into indebtedness. Because every time that there is no money, every time that problems arise, the shortest way they want to solve those problems is to go and borrow. And now, if sometimes the borrowing may not even solve the problem, then they go on to borrow again and again and again and find themselves in circles of debt. Debts that have accumulated over the years and over the period in such a way that it takes a very long time for these debts to be paid. It's a major problem. A lot of people that are walking on the streets are so indebted that they are wondering why they are swimming in debts. You have the directors borrowing, you found the poor, even the poor borrowing. Some of the people that are even borrowing are well-to-do people. A good example is that there is a story we had from somewhere. Somebody told us the story that he was working in Shell, and most of the directors in Shell are so indebted to cooperatives that are owned by junior cadres in the Shell industry. So these junior cadres, they come into groups, form cooperatives, and the directors are the people that comes to borrow this money. And they borrow on a very high interest rate. So borrowing money is not just because people are poor, that is why they borrow. It's a psychological problem, it's an attitudinal problem. And until that attitudinal issue is addressed, you find that such people, they may work in very high places, high good pay, and are still at the end of the day, they end up bankrupt or end up with no money in their banks because of this attitudinal problem. It's an inbuilt problem that really needs to be addressed. And that is why we are looking at this problem. It's endemic to many nations, especially developing nations, African nations. Many states in countries like Nigeria are also so much indebted that it will take many generations to pay. Personal lives, a lot of families are operating on huge debts that will really take some time to borrow. So it's a problem that we need to address. So in this series, we are going to look at how to come out of debt, why people borrow, the reasons why they borrow, and the endemic issues, the attitudinal problems that need to be addressed, and how you can come out of debt and live debt-free. That is what we are going to consider in this series. Thank you and welcome to my page. Please do well to subscribe to this channel, watch this series, and I'm sure you will be blessed. Thank you.